I think in Switzerland the scene of experimental music is rather small, but it's rather powerful. There is a rather long tradition. I think for us it's coming from voice crack. These guys who tried to come out of this free jazz thing, starting with hacked electronics, and we see ourselves a little bit in this tradition, but we also come from the classical contemporary music. We both made an education in that, but right now we're in this free experimental scene. I think it's all over the Switzerland. We're coming from Biel. It's a really small city, and there I think it's because of two musicians who stay there for a long time. It's a rather big scene for income if you compare it to the city, and it's really mixed scene from jazz to experimental stuff to performancing, but that there's a lot going on in Zurich. Voice Cracks is coming from St. Gallen. There's a scene in Basel with this electronic studio. There's a scene in Bern. You can talk about.
There is also the difference. We from Strm are coming from classical music, contemporary, and the other guys are quite different.
Yeah, I think that's one point to the the powerful scene of Swiss experimental music, that it's quite a mix from people who are coming from different backgrounds, but as they do experimental music, we meet each other. Sometimes we play together. So my background is more, I'm more from performance art at the end, and a little bit DIY, because I don't have musical education or something like that. But on the same time, we are meeting us somewhere in Switzerland, and there are possibilities to play together, to work together, and to be on tour together.
I think it's almost set. I don't have musical background. I came more from the turntablism side. I was almost falling into this scene through turntables and vinyl records. But I also think because the scene is so small, after a certain time you know each other, and you start to play around with different people and projects, and that's a very positive side of this small scene.
I don't think so, because there are similar ways of working probably, but Dada was in a totally different background, or as in the social situation in that time. Probably you can retrospective find similar roots, but at least I can't talk for everyone, but at least from my side it's nothing to do with Dada, except there are some, I don't know, more futurism style rumoris from all these kind of Russolo people, but I didn't follow them. I found them later, so I think it's nothing to do together. I do my things on my way, but on the same time I'm interested in art history, and actually I'm architect, and I made my studies about futurism, so I've read all the manifests and stuff like that, but it hasn't to do anything with my work as a musician at the end, no.
I studied piano, and the last time at the conservatory I concentrate my work on contemporary music. And
my instrument is clarinet, was clarinet, and I still use the bass clarinet sometimes in this context, but I also the last 3 semesters I did a lot of contemporary music and composition and improvisation. I tried to open the thing. For me, it was the last time in the conservatory I did some sound installations. I worked with tapes. I did recordings, and then there was a friend of mine who had a computer, and then I thought that's rather easy to do that work with a computer. And over this work with recordings, I came to the thing. It has such a lot of possibilities, and I started to involve it with my acoustic things, and it grew from there on. It has other possibilities. It has other sounds, and I can produce in the acoustic way.
For me, it was. I had a problem with the piano for improvised music. I thought I can't improvise on the piano because it's always the same stuff coming out of the piano. And at the same time as I studied piano, our project Strøm began with synthesizer and a little bit easier way than now, but so the computer was coming in, having the idea of the use of the computer like an instrument to play with it.
I have a thing to add. What we do with the computer is not sound generation. It's what we do in this context. It's only resampling. We work on the sounds we produce. Sometimes there are it's in the memory something from the last show or something from the studio, but it's not a synthesizer. We don't use it as a synthesizer. Yeah, and the system, like yesterday, my system is like everything is connected. There are several points of this machine. That in the middle there's a mixing console, but from there I can go to the computer. I can record it. I can I can play with it. Sometimes you don't remember the sound because it's really an extreme sampling, and I can put it through the other effect machines. I can pass back that there are whole ways of finding the way that come out afterwards.
Okay, this is very complicated.
Maybe but in my system of playing, it's just like this. I have a analog synthesizer, no presets at all, and some stomp boxes, guitar effects, and a computer with a live sampling program. And at the beginning of the concert, I have no sound in the computer, and so it's growing up after because I make the sounds with the synthesizer, stomp boxes.
For a festival, and I wanted to meet other people. I wanted to have something rather open, and so I invited 4 other musicians. Among it was Gaudens, and afterwards we started to work together. First as a quartet, then as a trio, and after 2 years we were a duo, and it was it was not an intention behind it. It was like it was there. It was nice. It was impressive what we had, like a same approach, same ideas. We could work together in a good way, and that was the beginning of the story.
It's a little bit a joke, this text. Sometimes it's like this because we are to write about us in words of style. Is for us it's difficult. I can't say I'm playing just noise or drone.
It was also in the time when we were a trio, and the other guys, the third guy was a guy who's coming out of more rock music, jazz music, and we came from another thing, and then it was like not to say we do that or we do that, we mix that up and we do our own thing. Right now, not. It's the first years sometimes we used grooves, and we had this approach, and the third guy had played bass, but right now it's not. It's more like I think the energy. It's we don't do DJism. We are in the thing. We play the instruments, and I think. What's important also what he has said before from this computer thing, we don't use it as we play it, and we play it. We have our samples in it, and we just mix it. We play it like an instrument. We try to use it as we used the piano or the clarinet.
And also with risk.
Yeah.
That's an important thing. Because analog instruments are not exactly controllable, and also the live sampling is difficult to controlling exactly because
especially this program because it has some mistakes in it and some bugs, and you don't know. Sometimes you don't know how exactly it works out. Also with the machines, also the setup I told you before. Sometimes it's rather fluid. I don't know. I try, and then I hear. I know this machine. I know it, but. It's not. I do that, and then I have this sound.
Okay,
I listen. I follow it. I try to control it, but also I try to find the edge where it makes something, and I have to react on it. That it's like I play with it. I don't use it to play this sound.
And some elements you can control exactly, and others. In between. It's the first time that we do it like this. We play together. We met us there in a concert or there, so we are a little bit friends.
And this, I think also it's like we have. Even if we have different approaches, different instruments, we are interested in the thing that the others do. We will listen to us, to the other, also in other contexts, and it's like, yeah, we have something in common. I think that was the main intention. Okay, that's why don't we try to figure out something that we can do together, and so this tour was. I think that was the idea of this tour.
And on the same time, I think that's quite interesting for the audience too. You've got experimental music, but in a wide range of how you can do experimental music. So I think and I hope it's interesting for the audience to see these three kind of working with sound.